give you some cuteness with this genetic update. So I'm not doing this as a short, because this can take a little longer than a short to explain. There's been a problem in Malinois in being in the service, military, being in police service, and for other things, because we're doing the dirty stuff. She's wandering around now. She just came out of the mommy safe zone. They're like, hey, are you offering boobies? But we found out a genetic thing that maybe the reason that some Malinois collapse or have specific previous untraced health issues. And it might tie to a gene that we've discovered. And I'll be updating you guys kind of some more on that. I've got to do a little bit more research, have a few more cross tests with health. And I need to, believe it or not, I need to cross-reference with the military. I'm hoping that they will be willing to make some DNA records available. Maybe not for their dogs. But I believe through some of the research I've done on my project, I've discovered why those dogs collapse. It's genetic, but there's sudden death syndrome, and that's a specific type of gene, and it's completely separate from this. So that's why it's been a mystery. There is sudden death syndrome, but these dogs die and they do not have that gene. So there's been a real mystery as to why. They'll completely collapse in training. And no one knows why. It's been one of the biggest downfalls in Malinois, is that they are doing well in training, doing all they need, and suddenly they will collapse full on. No explainable reason. No physically super obvious reason. There'll be some stuff if they end up doing an autopsy, but you know, you'd be surprised how rare people do an autopsy on a dog. Especially even like in the military or whatever, because like cleaning duty, I'm just looking around here. Be surprised how much the camera shows even to me. I'm like, I just came over here to do cleaning duty, but I wanted to get this video out because again, it's a pretty big genetic breakthrough if it's correct, and I'm really excited that my breeding program would have found it. So what I'm going to do right now is confirm some things. Now, here is the negative for it. There are some negative things that came on it, and there's a good chance that Tootsie will have passed away by tomorrow. It has to do with some things to do with this gene. She's my miniature Anubis Shepherd, basically, because of some genes that we have going on. And we found, so there's some issues that have showed up based on her being sick that would have complicated her sickness. And it had, so it also showed us some other things about some other genes that are going on. So genetically, this will be huge if it's true. And again, there's always theories, there's always this, there's always that. This has got to be proven. You guys are on this journey with me, so I'm just updating you. It looks like Tootsie will pass. It's very sad. There's some testing that was done on her grandfather, and that's where she gets some specific genes from that were passed through her mother and then to her. And that particular gene, it has nothing that normally would be considered bad. No one would ever consider this a negative gene. There'd be no health issues associated with it, nothing. I've got a mess. I have all new blankets. I'll be replacing this guy. I'm just about to do all that. So I'll rip up all blankets and put new ones in. It's a little messy. I'm messier than I like it to be. So I would really like for this to be worked out because it's been a huge issue. You don't really like working dogs, especially. You don't want them to drop dead, one. I mean, nobody wants any dog to drop dead. But there's a specific thing with working dogs where they're under specific amounts of pressure, and it's really important to know where certain health issues come from. So if these dogs don't have sudden death syndrome, which is a gene that you can test for, what is going on with them? Why are they passing away? Because there's not very many consistencies with them. So I'll just let you know. There's massively different reasons why they will drop dead. But if this particular part of our research program, my research program, the one involved, again, I work with other people, so when I say our we, it's because like I have a genetic person I talk to, or I've hired some different genetic people to go over things, or to go over my testing and that, so I'm the one that makes the decisions, but I have found multiple things, like because of some questions I asked my genetic testing company, the first one, about some coat colors and some things, they ended up not using my dogs because they weren't allowed to use my dogs as genes, but they used related dogs or dogs that had similar gene setups to discover certain color variations. So I have two, or had, one of them has gone to a very wonderful home, but I had two what you call the black sable Malinois. So I was wanting to know what made a black sable Malinois, and sable Malinois, because it's not a true black, so it's not a KB, which that will understand some other genetic stuff. If they were a KB, KY, it would make sense that they were black. They're not. So they are a KY, KY, which means with a KY, KY, and then an AY, AY, some wonderful gene cross there, they should have been sables, right? But then we got to see down where a further breakdown in their makeup. And again, because of questions I asked this gene company, they were able to trace those genes back. So I'm really hoping with this, the questions that I can ask can trace this back, and it can be fully fleshed out. Because I believe this is the trigger. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm super sad about her death. I am the silver lining from a storm. If I have to lose a dog, and I have to lose it to a health issue, I want to not lose another dog because of that health issue, right? So I have tried to learn why she's dying, learn what caused this to happen to her and no one else, and figure it out. And again, now I have to put that figuring out to the test by talking to different gene companies, different other, and literally I'll be contacting the military procurement line to see how much genetic testing that they have for this particular gene on any of the dogs that have dropped dead in their program. I know that they do want to have tests for sudden death syndrome, but this is really important in the Malinois working dogs, really important. All right, so super excited. Again, this is the whole exciting thing. It's really fun, again, so trying to figure out what was the difference, what makes a black sable compared to a regular sable, and what masking. Now the only thing they weren't able to find to me is what makes the masking gene, how you can identify the masked gene that will produce the black legs, right? And I don't know if they were ever able to find that particular one, but that is the next gene I want to find out, is how can I identify that masked gene that ties with those black legs, but we'll get there. But that's the reason why, if you do want to support this program, about the only thing I have discovered that I really need help with is being able to fund the genetic research that I'm doing, to find out things like this, to find out why dogs might be dying. And it really, this whole discovery will change my entire program. I'll announce it very soon. I need to get a little bit more information, but this is why I'm doing this. I'm not only going to figure out a better way to have my puppies healthy, but a better way to make sure that future Malinois as a breed will be healthier. And by able to do this, I'll be able to discover that. And so I hope that that is the ultimate outcome of this process, is finding health issues and being able to correct for them, not only in the breed that I'm creating by having that breed make it more identifiable, that crossing, but to help fix it in the breeds that I'm using. So I doubt German Shepherds can ever be fixed, but maybe something that I find in my genetic program that we do will find a way to help German Shepherds be more genetically healthy, since they have so many issues. So again, I really appreciate your guys' support, and anybody that becomes a Patreon, that's really what you're going to be supporting, is me being able to do more and more genetic testing and genetic research so that I can find out how to trace these health issues and do breeding programs that eradicate it. All right, now I get to go to clean. Yay for me, woohoo! See, excuse me, so there's our clean beds. I have, sort of my coat's on top, but okay. Clean bedding ready to go. All right, guys, so, and then it's about time to switch up, so, but let me give you a little thing. So this is where Mommy gets to go to escape. She's got her big bucket of water. They've got their food down. Excuse me, that was full this morning. They've been enjoying it. The mamas, they've got a good appetite. But she gets rest. They have their own little blanket in there. That's a clean one there. And I'll be using that one because the babies love it when it smells like the mom. So both mamas have slept on that, so now I'll give them that blanket as well as the clean one. All right, to work. Thank you guys for everybody who supports and watch. And there's a few of you that are really regulars. Your comments really make a big difference to me. So I appreciate it a lot. You know what I mean? I've been tired lately. I really have had a lot going on. This thing with Tootsie has been just heart-wrenching and heartbreaking. I've been hand-feeding her with the, just crazy. I'll give you all the details once everything's done. I do not want to monopolize off of her pain and her suffering. I'm just not willing to do that. Once it's all done, I'll give you guys an update on kind of how things went, and we'll go with that. But I will say one positive that's come from it. I'm going to lose her. She's going to pass away. but she may really make a difference towards losing less dogs in the future. So her life will hopefully, the losing of it will have some meaning, and hopefully will help us have made a gene discovery. So look forward to that. I'm going to give you guys some information, and it's pretty exciting.